leave them with, you'll never discover the ocean until you leave the shores.
Welcome back to the hot seat. Today we're in conversation with the amazing Paul Barnett, a man who went to Aden back in the 1950s, early 60s, did well, even though he's a little modest with that, went through many experiences which changed his life. And today you can call him a graduate who just never left because he's a fixture in the Aden community. Welcome back, Paul.
Thanks, Mark.
And thank you for sharing such richness with us. And certainly the Atlanta Reunion Group certainly made a wise choice in selecting you as one of the honorees this year. So congratulations.
Thank you, thank you.
And I see you were the government of Jamaica, the head of state, honored you recently with the Governor General's Award at was it the recent diaspora conference?
Yeah, last week I was down for that. And that was interesting.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's
very interesting. What was
I got a call. Well, first of all, one of the members from that sat on our alliance committee called me and says, "Paul, can I get your bio?" And quite often when they say that, I know what's coming. I says, "No, don't worry about it." And they said, "No. Give me a bio." And I said, "Tell me what you want to do with it." She says, "I want to put you in for the Order of Ontario." And I says, "I don't think so." She says, "Just send me the bio." But she missed the date for the Order of Ontario. And she said, "I'm sending it in for the Governor General's Award." I said to her, "I got a Prime Minister's Award already. That's good enough." And she said, No, Paul. She says, "You don't understand what you've been doing outside there." I says, "Well, you do what you have to do because there's a lot of needs. And you have to remember, there's only so many people there that is giving. There's a lot of receiving, but only so many people are giving." So she sent it in. I got a call from the Governor General's office. And he says, "We're calling it from the committee. We'd like to have a half an hour of your time, just ask you." And they asked me these questions, and then I said, "Okay, that's fine." And then 3 days later, I get a call, or a few days, that said, "You're the recipient, or the Canadian winner, or the Canadian awardee of the Governor General's Award." They said, "Were you planning to come down to the diaspora conference?" And I said, "Well, I didn't plan on coming down." They said, "Well, I think you should plan to come down now because you're going to be awarded this." So I came down.
What was that? What does this award mean to you, Paul?
Again, it's a lot of people are saying, "Paul, you deserve it," but it means a lot of young people, they look at it and say, "Man, if I work like that, probably I'll get something like it." And I just say one of the young people here, do not work for that. Work for the betterment of your mankind. Work for the betterment of Wilma's. Work for the betterment of Alpha. I have a few pictures there where, while I was on the grounds of the conference center, there were students that had gone through the Emerging Global Leaders would come and hold me. "Uncle Paul, I'm so proud of you." And these are students that have gone through the program, and I've watched them develop and go to university or finish. One of the guys, Nicholas Key, was telling me how well he's doing. And I felt so good. So good.
So let's talk about the conference. Are you seeing the flyer?
The Emerging Global Leaders, yes.
Yes.
I am immersed in that right now, and next week I am in Jamaica before I get to Atlanta. This is an interesting story. I was on Smile Jamaica last year telling them about how I got involved with this. I get a call from somebody from York University and says, "Can you come down to Barbados?" That was 2006, 2007, and just look at this program. And I looked at it and I said, "It's a great program. And he says, I'd like to get it in Jamaica, but I can't find somebody to get it in Jamaica. So I looked at it, and then this young man called Orlando Lopez came to me. First student to go through the program. He was at York University. And he came to me and said, Mr. Barnett, you got to look at this program. And he wouldn't stop. And he says, you're going to be my mentor. Orlando went through the program. He went through York University. He finished York University. He came to me and says, I'm finished, Mr. Barnett. What's next? I said, what do you love doing? He says, I like the finances. He says, follow it through. Go to the Canadian Securities course. He did that, passed it. He says, what next? I says, where do you want to go next? He went through that. He went into the next level of the securities industry. He has done that. He is now a manager, senior manager at Toronto Dominion Bank. He's going to be coming down to the conference to share his journey. But he's also back to York University now as a lecturer in the evenings. So I look at students like that. I look at people who have gone through the program and see, and I keep a track of the students that have gone through the program since 2007, right through until now. So
this is one of your mentees, somebody developing,
yes,
to be walking a similar path that you walked back in 1967.
Exactly. Very, very similar.
And not an Ardenite, actually went to Wolmer's.
Went to Wolmer's, and he was a president for Wolmer's Alumni Association here in Toronto. And, you know, I still watch him get married, got the 2 kids. We get together every so often. We talk, you know, so he's coming down. On the flyer as well is my other little one, Yolande. Yolande was she's from Holy Childhood, and Dad, she calls me. When I arrive on campus at York University, the word gets out, Dad, Uncle Paul, Mr. Barnett, he's on campus. And Orlando formed the what they call the Jamaican, the community of Jamaican alumni, Jamaican students at York University. Yolande was involved with it. So Yolande, she also went through the program. She was a mentor in Barbados. She was a mentor in, I think, St. Lucia. And she's coming down to share her experience. She's a senior financial advisor. I gave her away as at a wedding. I've watched the kids grow up. We, you know, Dad, how you doing? She called me from time to time.
This is amazing, Paul. This is amazing. So that same spirit that you took to Arden, you have expanded it. So
oh yes, yeah. I
mentorship.
I have 2 students now, one from St. Catherine's High, which don't have an alumni here, and I am personally helping her through college right now.
Paul, what do you think about mentorship and as a value that could transform, could change things in Jamaica today? I hear so many criticisms. I observe it too. The coarseness of the society, the young people just, you know, seemingly lawless, you know, law unto themselves, and older people just not seeming to be interested, care. What are your thoughts on that? You know, some people are afraid to take on these young people for fear of, you know, violence or threat to their lives.
You know, I usually, when I go to a school and I speak, I usually leave them with, you know, you'll never discover the ocean until you leave the shores. And so for mentorship, you really have to get inside there. And you'll never find your true satisfaction until you really get in and you get some students and you get some kids which you thought school had given up on them, but they're hope for them. And I usually say to teachers, never give up on a student, because they could be the next prime minister. They could be the next surgeon that saved your life. They could be the next pilot. They could, you know, never give up on them. And so that is my motto, you know. Mentorship is a key thing. You want to see these kids have gone through this program, the Emerging Global Leaders Program. I get them called. I have some of them on WhatsApp. They could keep me busy all night because I hear bing, 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 bing. See, like I'm going down now, I'll hear from all those who want to come back again, although they've gone through the program. What is my dream for that now? We have started Emerging Global Leaders Clubs on the school. I've got a team around me, which is great. So we start these clubs, and we're talking about mentorship. We have a team in Toronto that meets with some of these kids on WebEx on Sunday afternoon at 5 o'clock. Wow. Once a month. We've just finished a year with, from Wilmers, from Immaculate, from Arden, from Races, from Glenmuir, from Homewood, from Knox. I mean, right across the country. The idea is as many schools that we can get it into, and as many alumni associations that are willing to support it. We're going into the schools and we're setting these up, and we're looking for those who don't want to get involved too much in the the alumni day-to-day thing, but they want to do something in their lives. We try to hook them up with the students, and we're monitoring them to make sure they go where we want them to go.
Wow, this is just amazing, Paul. So, Paul, your children.
Yes.
I mean, they're nearest to you. I mean, so they must have benefited from all that you have given to those outside of your immediate family.
Yeah.
What sort of father do they have? If I were to ask them, tell me about that, what would they say?
He drags them everywhere he's going. they know about art and inside out.
Oh Lord, poor children.
Because for the last 20 or 30 years, we have had the Arden barbecue at my house. And so every year it is the trek to Mecca. They look forward, Ardenites look forward to coming to Oakville for the annual barbecue at our home. And the kids have grown up with that.
Excellent. So tell me about now. Who is who here now?
So that's my son in that nice plaid sweater. He's the eldest. The one in the middle there is my eldest daughter.
What's his name? What's his name, Paul?
He's Jonathan. He is a senior at TD Bank. Just before I left TD, he came into TD Bank. So he's there now. He was given the responsibility a few years ago of the business machines around the country. That was his responsibility. All those machines that you can get money from, that was his responsibility. Then he was taken off and seconded for 2 or 3 years to do the TD intellectual properties. Now he's back to regular job now, and he is doing mortgages, online mortgages, and he's developing that as his background in IT area.
Okay. The rest of the girls.
Yeah, my daughter there, she is following somewhat in my footsteps there. She is she went to a York University in the French immersion program, and she finished that, and she went to Japan and worked for 3 years, saved her money, came back and did her MBA here, and she is working for Sun Life Insurance Company as a senior risk management analyst.
And then this is
the youngest one followed her mom. She decided she wanted to go into the healthcare business. So she is a registered nutritionist, dietitianist, and she has been to Africa, to Ethiopia, to work for a year or so, and looking at their needs, their diet, and so forth. And she's back in Canada now. She's they're here every weekend. They're here. They just left here not too long.
She makes sure daddy eats right, and
that's right. Especially since mom is gone, they're making sure that I'm not having all the junk food.
What a beautiful wife.
Yeah. So
beautiful wife of blessed memory.
48 years later.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. It's a wonderful family.
And then thanks.
So
I threw this one in. This is my mom and my dad. And my son who is, I tell you, is the IT guy. He has superimposed all of these pictures to bring the family all together.
So these are your sisters, and this
Yes,
brother died young?
that's right. That's the one that died young, and the MI. And my other sister, just at top of my dad there, she died in a car accident coming from Mandeville to Kingston on February the 14th. I remember what year it was. She was helping somebody on the road coming from Spanish Town there and got hit by a drunken driver, and she died in the hospital. So right below her is my other sister that's in New York, and she is doing well. She's got her son, which is a doctor in Atlanta, Georgia, which I meet up with there. And she's got another son, which is now a pastor in Bronx, New York. And then on the other side is the sister that followed me to Canada shortly after I came to Canada. And she's in the hospitality business. She's not really working too much now. She's enjoying life. And then my youngest sister, she worked for NCB for a few years. She's here now. So we had dinner last night. We get together quite often.
Her face seems quite familiar. And they all went to Ardennes, the girls?
No, the two, my elder sister and the one beside top of my mother, they went to Ardennes.
And the others to Excelsior.
The other two went to Excelsior. But they were close to home.
Look at this.
Yes.
Matinee Idol and all.
Yeah, this is our 1970 as we left. We got married in Jamaica, and we were in Canada, but we came back to Jamaica, got married at Maranatha Gospel Hall, where she grew up. And our dad was one of the elders there, and we went back to Canada.
Wow. 1970.
Yes.
And she passed in 2018. Right?
2018, yes. Yes.
Wow. Look at that. What was going on here, Paul?
We have some fun moments together. Yes. We from time to time, we have traveled. We've had some good times. No regrets. We had a good life together. And the good Lord decided to take her and leave me to carry on what I have to do. She was involved with just about everything for Arden. He was an honorary Ardenite, although she went to St. Hugh's. But for the barbecue, she would say to me, "How many people? How many people? How many people?" And I just remember when Mr. Banks came up. We have a room, we call it the principal's suite, because Mr. Banks came up and he stayed in that room. Esther came up and she stayed in that room. Nadine Malloy came and she stayed in that room. So
principal's suite.
Yeah. So yes, when they come up, they usually stay with us.
So how have you been managing since her passing?
It's been, some days been good, some days been not so good, and I find people and I find friends, and I find people that I can go out with and I can talk to. I find some of the ladies that I can go for dinner with, and we can chat with. And I have one young lady which we still don't talk a lot. We just share dreams, ideas. I tell her what I still want to do, I still want to get done. So anybody who's going to come around me, this is what they got to expect, and just like I said to my kids, when I go to Jamaica, and the kids are with me, they come to Arden because I collect money from them. When we're doing the Winston Roberts building, we collect them. I let them go and do things, and they brought in money. So when we went to Jamaica, I said, "Come." And we were just laughing over dinner. And this says, "Dad, when you said you were building a whole block, I didn't understand then. It was just a brick I was buying." So on the Winston Roberts building is the family name. And so I take them to the school and said, "Here's where your money went." and they get to see what has been done. When we go down to, I go down to Halman Street every so often.
Yes.
Halman Street, where the family went to church, and we poured a lot of money in building a basic school at Halman Street. So one Christmas, we deferred buying Christmas gifts. All the money that we collected then from friends went in to build a basic school at the corner of Halman Street and East Queen Street.
Wow.
So when we go down there and says, here's where your money went.
Interesting. So Paul, you say you still want to get things done. There's still things you dream about doing.
Yes.
What are some of those dreams yet unfulfilled that you're pushing to bring to reality?
You know, they talk about the Jamaican youth and the challenges. But you know what? There's a lot that is happening. There's a lot that can be done with our young people. But we need more engagement. We need people to start thinking more of others than themselves. They need others to help bridge the gap between one generation and the next. Right now, I'm in the process with the Toronto chapter, the alumni group. After we finish Georgia, we have to look at where we are, because we have one generation which is going out, and we have another generation that's coming in. And it seems like the two won't meet because the young generation is not into what the older generation used to do. And the attention span is very short. And we got to find a way of bringing them in and keeping them in. So I am on the development process now of thinking through, how do I get these youngsters involved? And I even give incentive for them to come to Georgia. So they're coming down because I'm giving them actual cash to pay for some of their expenses.
Wow.
I've taken some, I've done from Jamaica. I want some of the young people to be there, and I pay for them to come to Georgia because I want them to be involved. So the dreams, I have scholarship which I've set up for Ardenite. It is being held at Myers Fletcher. They've got a criteria, and I want to make sure that I'm not giving, and those who are receiving don't have any plans to give back. So when I go to Ms. Pinto and my lawyer says, you know, you've got the criteria. If they don't match it, don't even submit it because Myers Fletcher is going to turn it down. They must be given back to Arden. Whether they, you know, I'm giving the scholarship, and I'm saying, come back and coach, come back and mentor, come back and work in the alumni office, come back and do something at Arden. If you cannot do that, don't take the scholarship. So I'm building every year. I'm going to increase that scholarship. This year, nobody gets it.
Okay.
Because they couldn't find somebody. And if they can't find anybody, it sits there until they find a person. And I will, as I plan my estate and as I plan the future, I will put more money into things like that. Because my kids are good. I think they are comfortable. They can hold their own. And what God has blessed me with over the years, I want to share it with more who will turn back and give to others.
Wow. I did say you're amazing, Paul, but you know, I don't want it to be a cliche, but man, this is amazing, phenomenal work. So when you think of Arden today, and you think of all the alumni over the many years, some of whom will be meeting in Atlanta in a few weeks' time, what's your word? What's your word now for Arden and in its growth trajectory, and how alumni should connect with the school and build with the school? Now you're just phenomenal. So I don't think everybody can be like you. We all want to be like Paul. But how can the individual alumnus give back to the school?
You know, I'd like to see,
When did they start?
I'd like to see more involvement with the alumni, not so much talking, because we're great talkers. We have a solar project going in Jamaica. It's been up there, and if we count all those alumni that is out there, we could have paid for this solar thing long ago. We need to look at it and say, we have done well in our profession. We have done well in life. Our kids are doing well. How can I now extend beyond the walls of USA, Canada, England? How can I look back at Arden and say, what can I do? What can I give? I want to see an alumni affairs office set up on campus.
Mm.
I want to see somebody in that office there. I want to see alumni with saying, I will help pay for that salary for that person being there. I want for them to be saying, the alumni office is going to supply us with information. I want to see coming out of Georgia, some tangible results of what does it mean after we finish on that Sunday night? Do we go back as normal, or we go back with a different mindset from wherever we're coming from? And how do we help somebody else better themselves like we did? And never mind about we had a hard time doing it. It was there. God has blessed you. Bless somebody else.
Amazing words to end our conversation today, Paul. I just want to thank you and bless you for the blessings that you have bestowed upon so many of us, upon our school, and the drive and determination I see in you and hear in your voice, that resolve to continue the work. You need somebody to pick up the baton, though. You grooming anybody?
Yes, you see, when Denzel Davis came on as president, I said, Denzel, I am going to work with you for 5 years. And I want for you, after that 5 years, to look for somebody else to take this on. I went to a function last week when I went to do the presentation about Sonia's. And one of the Ireland guys, whose son got one of the awards, one of the scholarships, he came to me and says, Paul, I went to Arden. All these years you've been asking me to be involved. I am ready now. And I said, are you going to Georgia? He says, I wish I could because I'm just going to get scholarship. I'm just going to get my son ready for university. But when you come back, let's sit down and talk.
Yes.
I have a pool of about 3 or 4 young men who went for dinner. And I said, you know why I invited you for dinner? I said, I want for you to look at where you're at. I want you to look at and see how you can be involved with the Alumni Association. And always think of 10 Arden Road. When all that is going on around you, and where everybody is looking and saying, well, you know, is this for me? You know, how can I help a student there? And let us pool our resources. Don't divide us and say, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this here. We need to come together at that conference, at reunion, and say, we're going to be a united front at Arden. We're going to be a voice that the school will hear, a voice that the community will hear, a voice that the country will hear.
Excellent. Thank you, Paul. And we certainly look forward to your wisdom and experience in Atlanta at the July 19 to 21 reunion and the launch of the Atlanta chapter of the Arden Alumni Association.
Looking forward to it.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Paul.
You're welcome.
All Ardenites from everywhere for tuning in to this special edition of the Hot Seat. We hope maybe we can squeeze in a couple more interviewees, outstanding Arden alumni over the years, before we all converge on Atlanta. So thank you all for being a part of this. And let's move on now to the third section where we'll hear music that Paul loves, his special playlist. Garfield will take us through some of the music, and we will open up the WhatsApp channel so that you can ask questions. So thank you, and God bless Ardennes, and God bless all of you.
Thanks.